I'll be the first, and I definitely won't be the last, to say that this year's Elimination Chamber card is kind of predictable. But since this event does have massive implications for WrestleMania, and also since a lot of the things that are happening inside the matches themselves aren't necessarily predictable, I think it's appropriate to give you my predictions. So, with that in mind, the WWE Elimination Chamber Premium Live event is this Saturday, very early this Saturday for those of us in North America, from Perth, Australia, and these are my predictions. Welcome to SVS Wrestling on YouTube, the SVS Wrestling Podcast. I'm Jason C. McLean. Now, setting up first, let's just talk about the different matches. Let's actually go into the very first match, which should be a major match. I'm talking, of course, of the men's Elimination Chamber match. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, just look at that image. These are all major stars. Now, the one that I predict to win is the one that I'm pretty sure most people predict to win. The one that's definitely being set up, that's Drew McIntyre. Now, go back to recent, the last episode of Raw. Drew McIntyre actually got only the second victory against Cody Rhodes since he returned in the singles match. Of course, it was also by cheating from Solo Sikoa, but that's a whole other story. Also, he's just been embracing his new character and going full force with this new heel character. He posted a social media video, complaining about things, talking about how he is doing everything for the right reasons. He also was very funny. He took an image of LA Knight, who was in Australia hugging a koala, and he I guess retweeted it or reposted it on X or Twitter with a little thing about how koalas have chlamydia. Funny stuff. I would be very surprised if he didn't win. But let's look at some of the other competitors. Another potential person that actually theoretically should win a contest like this would be Randy Orton. The only way I see Orton winning is if there's going to be a cash-in before WrestleMania, and Orton faces Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. I can't see him against Seth Rollins. I mean, it could be good. It could be a good match, but at this stage, I don't see that really happening. There's not enough story behind that, whereas Seth and Drew, there definitely is story. So it's still Drew. Randy Orton, probably not. LA Knight, yeah. Now, he's a big star too, but I actually imagine him going after Logan Paul's United States Championship at WrestleMania. I think that, LA Knight needs a championship, and his first major championship, I don't think should be a world title. I think he should start with one of the quote-unquote mid-card titles first. So Logan Paul's a very good choice, and I think in this match, they might have some sort of encounter that leads to that match. Maybe one of them eliminates the other, maybe through nefarious means. Maybe they somehow both knock each other out, and someone comes along and pins them. Now, LA Knight. Another thing that could happen is LA Knight continues his feud with Kevin Owens in this match. Logan Paul continues his feud with Kevin Owens in this match. That's possible, but I think it's maybe more likely that maybe he somehow negatively affects Owens, maybe even knocks him out. I love KO, but that would give, for example, Sami Zayn motivation to get involved in that story, that maybe he's going for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. If Logan Paul wins this match, I mean, it could be interesting, because then he would be, if you say he beats Seth, he'd be a double champion. And of course, because one of the belts is a mid-card belt, he'd have to discard that belt too. So that's always a possibility too. I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a slim possibility. I also don't think Kevin Owens is going to win. Bobby Lashley is in the match because he's a huge star and he deserves to be, but storyline wise, it wouldn't really make sense to win this match. It's just bringing another big star into the mix. That's not, of course, the only Elimination Chamber match on the card. The one that's a big one that's sadly also kind of predictable is the women's Elimination Chamber match. Now, everyone, including me, thinks Becky Lynch is going to win this one. They've been setting up Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley for WrestleMania for a while now. The only way Becky Lynch doesn't win, I think, is if they actually do something completely unpredictable and Nia Jax beats Rhea. But I have a strong feeling that Becky Lynch is going to win. The runner-up, Bianca Belair is somebody who you can never rule out. I mean, she's always in the championship picture, but I could see her maybe getting into a feud with Tiffany Stratton. Ultimately, I think she's going to be fighting Jade Cargill at WrestleMania, but maybe there's a little feud with Tiffany Stratton. Same thing for Liv Morgan. I could see Liv Morgan would be another second or third choice to win this match. But I could definitely, she's already fighting Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown. I could see her maybe getting a three-way with the three of them at WrestleMania. Raquel Rodriguez, I think it's just a good way to come back, put her in the Elimination Chamber match, but I don't think she's going to win it, not this year. She'll definitely have a strong showing in the match as well, too. Maybe they might even set up a little feud between former tag team partners Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Morgan does have a good story to go and fight Rhea Ripley, but I don't think that's going to happen this year. I really don't think so. And Naomi just got back. This could maybe be a way for her to get into a feud with, I don't know, Tiffany Stratton or someone else. I don't think she's going to win the match, but I think she's going to have a very strong showing in it. And as for Tiffany Stratton, well, if you want a heel to win, she's the only heel in this match. But I think after Elimination Chamber, Rhea Ripley is going to be going back to being a heel and is going to face none other than Becky Lynch. Now, of course, that it's not just Elimination Chamber matches on this card. We have a tag title match. Now, this actually is probably the least predictable. Most likely Judgment Day, Damian Priest and Finn Balor are going to win. I think even though they've been around for years on, Tyler Bate on NXT and Pete Dunne on the main roster, they've only been a tag team for a few weeks. I don't think just being in this match is the huge push that they're getting. I really don't think they're going to win, but who knows? Maybe they will, and maybe Priest's story is going to somehow be about the cash-in rather than the tag titles. But it's probably the least predictable, but I still strongly favor Judgment Day retaining with Dunn and Bate putting on a strong showing. This is also probably going to be the shortest match of the night. And of course, we also have our main event. Switching the slides there. We have our main event, which is Mommy, the Eradicator, Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley, the home country hero, defending against Nia Jax. Rhea's going to win. I would be astonished if they did anything else. Triple H is not that cruel. Rhea's retaining. Nia's going to put on a good show, but Rhea's retaining. If this was the previous administration, maybe they might do a swerve, but Nia Jax is not Roman Reigns, even though she's still part of the same family tree. Yeah, Rhea's retaining. Don't really have to think too hard about that one. Now, of course, it's not just matches. There is the interview segment. The Grayson Waller. In fact, Grayson Waller is going to be interviewing the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins. Now, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a great pop for the crowd. It's going to be fun, but I'm sure it's not going to be limited just to them. Now, we have, of course, heard, we've had it confirmed on social media that Roman Reigns is not going, but Paul Heyman says he's going to go in his place. So obviously there's going to be that interaction. Maybe Damian Priest is going to do a cash-in. Who knows? Let's talk about The Rock. Now, The Rock recently made a video on social media, on X actually, where he said that he wants to go, but unfortunately, in the same video, though, he also gave instructions to the millions and the millions of The Rock's fans, basically people in Perth, to inform him if there's any trash talk on the part of Rollins or Rhodes against him. And he says he'll show up and not to ask him how he could get to Perth that quickly. It's a little hint that maybe he's going to show up. Also, Triple H today, Thursday, By the way, I'm recording this before the press conference, which is at 11 p.m. Eastern or noon Friday in Australia. He actually he made a statement that no, The Rock's not going to be there. He'll be at other PLAs, but I'm paraphrasing that part, but the direct quote is, "We don't need The Rock." And that sounds almost like a work, almost like he's trying to act in his head of creative character, which is reality, but is now also a character. So who knows? Maybe that means The Rock. Honestly, when I heard that, I was like, okay, The Rock's showing up. And honestly, having a stadium show and not announcing The Rock's not going to be there and having him be a surprise at the last minute, that's a baller move if there ever was one. So that could definitely get very interesting. At least I think that the segment with the Grayson Waller effect isn't just going to be an interview. There's going to be maybe it's just Heyman, maybe it's The Rock, maybe even Roman's there. Who knows? Maybe something's going to happen, and I think it's going to set up that tag match at WrestleMania. If it wasn't, it's still good, but I would be really surprised if something didn't have. So my prediction for that interview segment is that we might get a bit of a scuffle. So do you agree with my predictions for the Elimination Chamber PLE? By the way, again, I'm recording this before the press conference, so who knows? Maybe things will change in that press conference that might change my opinion. But as of 8:11 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, the 22nd of February, this is my prediction. If you agree with the predictions, if you don't agree, leave a note in the comments. If you have technical questions or technical comments, maybe don't send a comment. Just go to patreon.com/silovoice. I review in written form every WWE PLE as well as Raw and SmackDown at svsreviews.com/wrestling. Also, follow follow SVS Wrestling at follow SVS Wrestling at Silo Wrestling on Twitter or X. At SVS Reviews on Facebook and Instagram. Follow me at Jason C. McLean on Instagram and X is the one where I really talk more about the wrestling. And with that in mind, enjoy the Elimination Chamber, and I'll catch you on the flip side.